looks like the next phase will be assembling the shocks, the icon shocks, and then getting into the transmission. So for that, we'll be needing open bag C and open plastic bag 2. In other words, we'll be needing plastic bag 2 with bag C and D. So here we go. I'll go open this up and get on to assembling the icon shock. So here we have this plastic 2 bag, or plastic 2 bag. It's like transmission housing and some shock parts, shock caps, rod ends, and then here's bag C. Looks like the shock shafts, springs, and the shock body, aluminum body, and the shock oil, 30 weight. I'm not gonna bore you folks with shock parts and go into every single detail of all these shock parts. There's too many shock parts to go over. So I'm just gonna go ahead and assemble the shocks. The next step in the assembly is bag D. Looks like we'll be assembling the transmission. 56 tooth Spur Gear, 32 pitch, slipper clutch, or dual slipper clutch. Looks like we have the Pinion Gear right here, 32 pitch, 15 tooth, 1.5 tooth, and it looks like some idler gears, pins, ball bearings, screws, and shafts. So let's get to it. In this part of the build, we'll be needing 2-speed bottom shaft, 2-speed top shaft, 4 5x11 by 4 millimeter ball bearings, 2 pins, 1 M3 by 12 millimeter screws, and 1 M3 by 18 millimeter corner set screws. And then we also have is the 18 to 48 pitch 2-speed gear. And then we have is the 36 tooth 32 pitch gear. And then from parts, plastic parts, AX21375. Looks like a tube, plastic tube, part number 6. And then we have is part number 7. And then we need some grease. So let's get to assembling this transmission. Next, we'll be installing the transfer case. So basically we need the housing, the transfer case housing, 2 of them, transfer case output shaft, uh, 3x18 shaft, two M3 by 25 millimeter countersunk screws, and then M3 by 12 millimeters countersunk screws, and then we'll be needing 6 ball bearings, 5x10 by 4 millimeters. Then we have the 26 tooth 48 pitch gear, and we need 2 20 tooth drive gear. and I forgot, 3 pins. Hopefully I didn't forget anything else, but on to assembling the transfer case. Just a quick note or quick tip when installing this transmission and the transfer case. There are 2 different sizes of ball bearings and pins. When you install the internal gears or the 2-speed transmission, make sure you use the bigger ball bearings in the transmission housing. They're the 5x11 by 4 millimeters, and thicker or bigger pin, 2x8 millimeters. Yes, I made that mistake. I assumed that everything was the same size, ball bearings and pins, and off camera I had to disassemble and reassemble this whole transmission and transfer case and put the right size ball bearings and pins. I don't want you folks to make the same mistake as I did, so hopefully my mistake can help you folks not make the same mistakes. So, and then in the transfer case, for the pins, for the shafts, the size is 1.5 by 8 millimeters, and 6 of the smaller ball bearings, 5 by 10 by 4 millimeters. So keep that in mind. 1 millimeter does make a big difference, believe me. So on to the next phase of this transmission build. In this part of the build, looks like I'll be installing the slipper clutch. So I'll be needing plastic part AX31377, number 1, and plastic part AX31378, part 1. And then I'll be needing a M3 by 18 millimeter countersunk screw. Countersunk screw? Yes, 3 of them. So there's my 3 countersunk screws. I would be needing the spring for the slipper clutch. So size of the spring is 8.5 by 12. Looks like I'll be needing slipper plates. Two times. And then slipper pads, 2 times. Give you a look on the other side. And then our M4 or 4 millimeter nylon lock nut. And then we'll also be needing M4 by 4 millimeter set screw. and then two M2 by 6, two M 2.6 by 12 millimeter countersunk screws, and looks like we have a flathead screw, 2 by 10 millimeter, 2 times. I can find the fucking screw. And then we'll need our 32 pitch 15 tooth pinion gear. So, onto the build. And I'll be needing plastic, part AX3137 number 2, and our pinion gear 15 tooth, 32 pitch, and our 4x4 set screw. Yes, of course. Need the Loctite. Or blue thread lock. Whoa, that's kind of too much. Too much. Wipe some off. Oh, and last but not least, we need our motor. T-Can T30 Pro hand wound crawler motor. Brushed. I'll install the wires later. But for now, we'll place the motor right in here. That's kind of perfect. So take that baby out.